first clue how, but
Nobody likes my welcome. Welcome, guys, to my Big Brother Reindeers game week 2
wrap up.
recap. We're wrapping up the week, guys. Yes, I know you're like, guys, it's just been over. It's 8 days into the new year. Why do you still have a Christmas background? Listen, we're all on vacation. We just want to wrap up the season. We had some thoughts. We'll keep you long.
Yes.
You guys ain't doing nothing, so come listen to us, right? Janelle says I need a theme song, so I'll have to come on.
Like a little intro type thing, you know.
Intro. But
it can say welcome, welcome, welcome.
You are all welcome to my content. So I have to get somebody singing welcome. But yes, guys, we're back to talk Big Brother Reindeer games. I know. You're like, this season ended a long time ago. But we did want to wrap up week 2. A lot of things happened. Listen, the show was a solid show. I will say.
Mm-hmm.
I will say that.
I would absolutely love to have a 2-week reindeer games at the end of every single year with corny Christmas clothes and corny Christmas games. Perfectly fine with me. It was just like the right amount of time, fun new people, revisiting with some faves, like forget celebrity. Or even if they've run into rotate reindeer game celebrity, I'll take it. But I really enjoyed it.
I didn't watch Celebrity before this, which I'm surprised I haven't. I've just, I read about it, heard about it, whatever. So I knew who the winners were, kept up with it, but I probably kept up with Celebrity more than I ever kept up with regular Big Brother.
But okay. I only tuned in a little bit. I didn't watch any season like full on. You know what I mean? Just loosely followed and kept up with it. So,
but I think this was like, it was like when it was over, it was like, oh yeah, like that was the right amount of time.
Yeah, 6 episodes. Extend the episodes when you need to.
Right.
Yeah, I liked it. I loved it. I need them to do this again because I think some people that we wouldn't get back ever for a full season, we have potential to get for reindeer games.
Right. I agree. And so, spoiler alert, our winner pig didn't win, but I will say so to me, this is probably one of the best reality shows of the year, I feel like. And to me, if I would have to put it in order, it'd be Traders US, Love Island Games, Big Brother Reindeer. And the only reason it's third is because the other 2 gave me the winners I wanted.
So then Big Brother 25 is under Reindeer Games?
Big Brother 25 ain't even on the list, girl.
I know. I just had to ask.
Lord, I swear to God. They lucky I finished the damn season.
I know. Honestly, if I hadn't been obligated to talk about it, I would have let it fly by the wayside way sooner. But it is what it is.
And it's no shade to Jag at all as a winner. It was just a hard season to watch. And like at least I will give Big Brother 24 this. While there were points where it was very hard to watch that show, you cannot say the feeds weren't interesting.
True. There was always something going on at one point or the other. Right. And I just think that for these shows, what matters, everybody likes different things, but I have to, or it's like a catch-22. I enjoy it more when there's somebody I'm really invested in, I'm really, really rooting for.
Right.
The end of Big Brother 25, I really wasn't invested in any of the final house guests. It really didn't matter to me who won or, how it turned out. So that also dampers it for me personally. So, but also, I'm not just super disappointed when somebody that I'm rooting for doesn't, you know what I mean? It's like I don't have any stakes, but then I care a lot less. or I have super high stakes because I care so much.
Right.
And I don't know. It's like a catch-22. I don't. Mm, mm.
For
Like,
me, I think it for me the end. I can watch it even if I'm not like initially invested in who's gonna win, what's gonna happen, blah
yeah,
blah blah. For me, it gets difficult in the end game when you're watching a game or competition and you're not invested in anybody.
yeah. It's like I don't care to watch. You know what I mean? I don't care to watch, but yeah, I need to care about somebody, or I need to know somebody, or there has to be something that was my 24. It could have been, if it had been a different combination of the final 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, I
Mhm.
would have been fell off. You know what I mean?
Right.
But it had the right person that I was rooting for there always, so I was super locked into it. And if I don't have that person, I'm just not. Like, I'm excited for Traders US, although I'm excited for Traders US. There's multiple people on this cast that I know.
Mhm.
So, and I'm rooting for some of my faves. So I'm excited to see how that turns out too. So we'll see.
Yeah, I'm really really excited for Traders US. There's a lot of people on there that I'm excited to watch. There's a lot of people on there I'm not excited to watch, but I think overall the cast I think will bring something. I'm happy, but I'm also disappointed. Happy that it's going to be a full reality TV cast,
Mm-hmm.
but it kind of does suck that then that means like a you or a me doesn't get to play the game and have that potential to be either winning or even just be introduced into the reality TV space, right?
Right.
But because of the way that Traders US ended last year, that is kind of the way that it's going. But I will say, I just watched Survivor and I watched the last episode. I did not watch the entire season. I literally watched the final episode, hoping for one person to win, and when that person was like kicked off, I was like, okay, shut it down. So that's the type of watcher I am. Like, I don't have to be fully invested or embedded in the full season. I could come in, towards the end of the season, watch the episode. But yeah, like if there is not somebody you're there rooting for, it kind of does suck.
Yeah. It's good and bad. Like, I'm not super invested. That means I'm not locked in, but then there's no super letdown if my person doesn't win.
True.
Yeah,
This is this is true. So let's discuss Big Brother Rainmakers. Where we left off, episode 3, and that was a pretty devastating episode to say
Yeah.
the least. We had Danielle going out, not in the spot that I think anybody thought was gonna go out, but just the way things ended up, she ended up going out and on a competition that I think she actually had the potential to actually do well on, but she just doubted herself at the end of the day. And
Yeah, I honestly, physically, she absolutely could have done it. Just from what I heard and what I saw, I just think one, if she had had a little bit more faith in her abilities, she would have been
Mhm.
okay. If she wasn't so worked up, which is easy for us to say, she
Right.
would have been okay. And they said that she was super close to finishing it. It's like 50-50 for me because I don't know what would have happened had she finished and who would have
Right.
went and like
Yeah.
that. I don't even think about it. But yeah, that was super disappointing.
Yeah.
Super
So
disappointing.
when we start again, we still have reindeer elf Derek X
He was good.
for episode 4. And he comes in and he's like rushing in,
Mm.
and apparently the artist known as Joe Frost has been kidnapped. And I was like, okay, I like this. I like this little bit that he's doing. Listen, Derek was in this.
He was in character.
He
I
was
liked him. I thought he did a great job.
he did. I was actually pretty proud of him. And so the house guests, lodge guests, had to figure out who stole Jill Frost. So apparently, it was a bunch of reindeer. Reindeers went rogue. They had to figure out which reindeer, and they were given a bunch of clues. It's like colors of like reindeer. What do you call those things? Harnesses, names, what they were wearing, like all sorts of different things that they had to use to narrow down who actually kidnapped Jill Frost. So, what did you think of this naughty or nice challenge?
That
Naughty
was
and nice.
cool.
Yeah.
I honestly, a lot of the not, I liked it. A lot of the naughty and nice challenges, I
Mhm.
hope they somehow incorporate into the season, even if it's just instead of in the house, that'd be
Mhm.
harder, with a regular season. But um, even if it's not in the house, something in the backyard that gives somebody a leg up or an advantage or gets to disadvantage somebody, I think that that could really work out in the game too. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially because literally anybody can win the challenge.
Yeah.
I couldn't have won some of those because my short-term memory is trash, but I think those are more so really, really fair comps that anybody has a chance to run away with. So I like it. I need them to incorporate some of these things into the regular season. I
I agree.
pray.
I agree. And even here, we see like at this point in the game, uh Taylor is targeting Frankie. And we knew, like, from the first few episodes, she was working with Frankie,
Hmm.
but she had come to the point where Frankie had to go.
Yeah. Yeah. She knew that man had to go. And that's one of the reasons why she wanted X in the game, is
Right,
because eventually she was hoping that she would use that shield to take out her target.
right.
Didn't need him, but that was her plan. It's a valid strategy.
Right. And so we do get a bit of strategy here, and we do see that the girls are working together still.
Mhm.
Even with Danielle leaving, it still behooved them to continue to work together. And Nicole and Brittany are like, Taylor's a girl's girl. They see that she's on their side. But yeah, Frankie is her target. And unfortunately for her, Frankie does win this.
Of course.
So it's like, while it was very equal, a challenge.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we see here, even if you are targeting somebody, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to work out. So that is why, like, something like this would be good in the regular game, because you could really have a target, right? And everybody
Hmm.
has a target in mind. But if that
Hmm.
target wins the challenge, a challenge that is a little more equal in its capability, you still have to then figure out, oh, strategically, what do we do next, right?
Right. Yeah. I liked it. I liked it.
So we do see that. Oh, and then TX, when Jill Frost came down. So most of their challenges, they just love the singing person. So they were getting people to come sing to these people left and right, which I think is cute, because as I like a musical. I feel like music and Christmas time definitely go together. So we see Jill Frost and somebody said, why didn't they get Ariana?
I don't know how much influence Frankie has over that.
Right. And we see that Josh was in love with Jill Frost. DX fainted from Jill Frost. I thought it was so cute. That entire segment was cute to me.
Yeah.
So Frankie's advantage for the Jingle Bell Brawl, he gets to choose the person, because it is going to be done in pairs. And this
Hmm.
is another thing I liked about this entire series. We got them working as individuals, we got them working as pairs, we got them working as teams. And I feel like every time we got a different, like, configuration of how this was
Shook things up.
shook things up.
Yes.
It was exciting. It made the actual competition feel like, oh my gosh, like, who's gonna win, who's gonna get it, like you're in suspense, because you don't know how well somebody's gonna work with somebody else, or
Hmm.
gonna pull this out, even even beyond the lines, because at this point Frankie is Taylor's target, and we see here Frankie ends up choosing Taylor as his
Right.
husband.
And Taylor's like, well, guess I gotta win now because I can't get Frankie. Like her whole plan for the week was shot down the drain
Yep.
because they had to work in pairs.
Yep.
Frankie chose her because he didn't want to see Nicole go. He didn't want to see Brittany go. He was willing to be partners with Taylor just in case they ended up down in the little showdown thing. Yes, they could absolutely incorporate this. Do it in an HOH comp. Have two random pairs or have a little competition to let somebody well, I don't want them to determine it in Big Brother. Like I would rather that be pairs, but it was just doing things like this where the dynamic switches like that and you
Mhm.
don't necessarily have control over everything was really, really cool. Like
I
I
like
like the
even like that
unpredictability.
stalking thing that they did at the end where she had to choose and he had to choose, and then they were like, even if you do something like that where it's kind of like a blind veto pick, but
Yes.
like that's how you choose your pair. Please don't do what you did in Big Brother 24 where you just made these people just roll on a bunch of people and choose whoever they wanted. Like not
I know, like that's too easy. Like
yeah.
they come up with sometimes interesting twists, but then the way they do them, like if you had tweaked one little thing, it would have been perfect.
Yeah. And I said that so there was it reality fan, I forget, there's a reality fan page that I follow, and they're doing an awards, which is funny because I thought about doing an awards because I feel like we had good reality TV this year, but they were like best twist of the year, and I said the problem with all like 90% of the twists that we got this year is the execution screwed every single one of them up.
Yeah. Yep.
The execution ruined them. Like I was so excited. You guys know I was so excited about BB Multiverse. Like we got Big Brother Reindeer games because of the Big Brother Multiverse.
Yeah.
But it like the way they executed it on Big Brother 25 just ruined the season. Ruined the
Yeah.
season.
Yep. Like letting somebody get the secret HOH, have the ability to tell, and then play for HOH the next week. Like, come on. Like we can't, you know what I mean?
Having a twist where people get to go out in a double and then they get to come back and you literally stop gameplay for an entire week.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
But
that zombie thing would have been cool. And also execution of zombie. Their outfits sucked. They shouldn't have been able to eat.
they shouldn't have been able to talk. They should not.
There should have been like if you were gonna do strategy, everybody else should have been able to strategize except for them. They were zombies.
Yeah. Fail. So
Fail.
what did you think of Frankie picking Taylor?
So I thought that it was good strategy, unfortunately. But I also felt like, wow, I think they're gonna actually end up winning
They're a
because
strong pair.
they're
Like
a
that was a
strong
strong pair.
pair. A
Yeah.
strong pair, competitively. So that was his advantage. He got to pick his partner. And then the disadvantages during the game, he actually got to freeze whichever team that he chose, and they would have to stop their
What was it,
competition,
45 seconds?
something like that. It was a
And yeah, and it's important for those that might not have seen it is they were doing a puzzle.
yeah.
Whoever finished the puzzle first won. And we heard Taylor talk about it in her interview with Taryn that during that puzzle, we're a little bit ahead. We can talk about who picks who, but during that puzzle, it was her job to get Frankie the pieces and also let Frankie know who to freeze and when to freeze them. You know, that was Taylor's role in their competition. I like the challenge too. I like that they had to compete in pairs. I like that the losing two were gonna go, and is that how it worked? Did the losing two go down? Yes. No.
Yes.
No.
No, because that's
Yeah,
what
yeah.
that's what exactly
Yeah.
was.
Yes. So I liked it. I was like, when he picked her, I knew it was strategic because he didn't want to potentially go against Nicole or potentially go against Brittany. He was not going to pick Xavier. is not gonna pick Josh, right? So it was strategic, but I was also like, he's being sneaky. But at least I feel like Taylor's a good competitor. They're going to be a strong team together. So I wasn't worried when
Yeah,
it happened.
not at all. I was kind of worried about the two teams left and how they were going to divvy things up, because depending on how they did everything, it really could have screwed like Taylor's game, which is what was important for me. Or
Yeah.
um, so at the end of the day, it was like, because basically Taylor had an alliance with the two guys and she had an alliance with the two.
She was aligned with, she was good anywhere you look,
Right.
Sometimes that's good, sometimes that's bad.
Yeah. So they amongst themselves had to choose who they were going to go into the competition with as a pair. The guys wanted to one of the girls to go with each one of them. The
Mm-hmm.
girls wanted to just go together.
Right.
What did you think about that argument?
I don't know. Okay. My thing is, I mean, I wouldn't, if I was they don't know what's going to happen after there's a winner and or a loser. That is not clear to them yet.
Right.
And I would not want to get stuck down in the showdown against my ally if I could avoid it. But
Right.
also, if I do end up having to go down in Santa Showdown, I want to have a chance to beat the person. So it's a wrestle in my brain. Like I
Right.
understood why they wanted to stay together, and I understood why the guys felt the complete opposite and wanted to work with each of the girls.
Right.
So I felt that each of them wanting that agenda
Mm-hmm.
was valid. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
I probably would have, not knowing what the competition was, I probably would have wanted one of the guys.
That's why I wouldn't, because I didn't know.
Because I'm just like, well, what if it's physical and I need a guy?
Oh, okay. So if it was pairs that they were because they don't know. Yeah, it's
Right.
so.
So my whole thing is, to me, I might have been like, okay, so I want one of the guys, because like, first of all, if it's a physical challenge and I want my best chance to win, I would want an offsetting guy to like lift heavy things, push heavy things, right? Like that
Yeah.
would be in my head. Um, but I also would be like, damn, but like if we lose, I gotta try to freaking figure out how to freaking beat this guy.
Beat this person. Yes, that's like because what is so good about this show
Mm-hmm.
is they don't know. They had no idea that they were going to be working in pairs in the what is it called, the reindeer in the first battle. They had no
Right.
idea they were going to be forced to work in pairs.
Right.
We had seen 3 people go down to Santa Showdown. Who's to say there can't be 4? Like you just don't know. The
Right.
changing format week to
Right.
week really threw people on their game off their game or kept them on their toes. It's not the
Right.
same as a regular game. You know what's happening. You know there are going to be 2 people for the most part.
But maybe that is things that they need to start incorporating, like um not necessarily a hard format change, but just throw these people for a loop.
Unpredictability.
Unpredictability.
Yes, like, oh, you're going to be competing in the HOH with somebody, and then you two will face off. I don't know. I just wish they would switch it up more, like
Yeah.
unexpected that the house guests don't see coming, so
Yeah.
that it knocks them off kilter, like it did the people in reindeer games, because it was different every week. How they
Every week.
competed, who went down, how that was determined. Like there was always a twist, and I loved it.
And by every week we mean every episode.
Right, because they were only there a couple of days.
So yes, so the Jingle Bell Brawl is pack your sleigh. It's a puzzle, and they basically had to like take a sleigh, put gifts in it, but the gifts were cut out into a puzzle form that like pieces fit into each other or didn't fit into each other to form just like a block of presents.
Yeah, and there was no pattern or anything I noticed to it. It just
Yeah.
seemed like the pieces had to fit together
Fit together.
correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they were like each sleigh, so there was 3 sleighs and they each had like a different uh wrapping pattern, which I think was also kind of cool. So it's like your thing could each have the same cutouts, but because your wrapping pattern is your own pattern, that also could throw you, because you can't necessarily like just look at what somebody else is doing, because they're
Right.
it's
Everything's different.
really everything's different. And so we do end up seeing that Xavier went in with Nicole,
Nicole.
and Josh went in with Brittany. Um, and of course, Taylor was with Frankie. And so I liked this challenge. I liked everything that happened during the challenge.
Yeah, it's good.
And we saw that X and Nicole were like, they were on it. They were
They
on
were.
it. But you know, they both are really good at puzzles.
Mm-hmm.
And so Taylor, well, she did tell us after this, but she did say that Frankie had told her if she sees anybody that is like too far ahead, that she needed to tell him so that
They're getting frozen. Yeah.
so they could get
So it's
frozen.
just, I mean, that's a good strategy.
It was.
Weaken whoever's closest behind you, you know?
Yeah.
And it worked out for him.
He did, because while he's like moving a lot of heavy pieces and she was helping to arrange it, she's also keeping an eye out, and she noticed that that Xavier and Nicole were like going full speed ahead of them, and she's like, Frankie, freeze them.
Mm-hmm.
And Frankie sure enough froze them.
Yep.
And so that literally stopped their momentum.
Mm-hmm.
And then we see on the other side, Josh and Brittany, they're just not working well together at all.
I wasn't even paying attention. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, I just like, how's Taylor doing? Like, that's all I cared about.
I was, because I wanted to see, like, I've never seen Josh play.
Mm-hmm.
So I was trying to figure out, like, is he going to be good at this? Like, but just, I think, I'm not sure if he was paired up with Nicole, if it would be different, but him and Brittany weren't working well together at all. So we do see at the end of the day that literally stopped X and Nicole's momentum. Taylor and Frankie were able to use that like 45 seconds to like their full advantage, get their puzzle like in properly, hop into the sleigh, press the bell, and they won this challenge.
Yeah.
Which was really exciting.
Yeah, I was happy.
Yeah.
Then I was like, okay, now what? Like, I was so anxious to see what happened next. Pretty interesting.
Yeah. So for the Santa Showdown, they had to choose who that was going to go into the Santa Showdown, which we figured. But the way that they made the choice was they gave them a stocking. And inside the stocking, there was a coordinating color per team. So I think it was like red was X and Nicole, and green was Josh and Brittany.
Yeah. And I think the other way around. But
the other way around.
Yeah.
But, and and the funny part is we knew that there would be an issue. Because I think if Taylor had to choose between Brittany and Josh, she would have been okay. Easy. Yeah. Right? But having to choose between X, who probably is like her closest confidant, and she needed him to help her take out Frankie in her head, and Nicole, who she also had built like literally it was Michigan strong, right? Like
she was so upset. She was like, oh, she was so mad, and you could just tell she did not like. She got stuck doing this a couple of times.
Yeah,
she was not happy. She did not want to choose between them. She wanted to work with the both of them.
Yeah,
but at the end, I understood her choice because. Yeah. She had sacrificed X before and she didn't want to do it again. And she wanted him to help take out, like, it was so much. And I just felt bad for the girl because, you know, she was like, she was
it was a hard and an easy decision. It was hard because it's like now you have to strategically figure out how you're going to get yourself out of this with the rest of your alliance, your other alliance, right? Like, and so it's like, how do you explain this off? How do you wave this away? So they do end up picking these coordinating colors, and Frankie and her have a chit chat, and Frankie's like, yeah, so it's X and Josh. That's what's best for our games.
course he'd say that.
And it's like, Frankie, that's what's best for your game, honey. That's not what's best for Taylor's game at all.
Yeah.
And so he went about his business, and she went about her business, and they had conversations with their coordinating teams that they had to choose from. And Taylor did say that she knew she wasn't sending X, but she did have the conversation with both of them, and
Yeah.
she did placate Frankie a little bit. What pissed me off is that they had her choose first.
They don't care.
They didn't care, but this is what I'm saying. It was like stuff like that. I'm like, why isn't this in the damn regular game?
Right. Yeah.
So she does have to choose first because Frankie won, and so she has to choose between Nicole and X,
Xavier.
and she chooses to save X and send in Nicole.
Yeah. I was happy because she had already like done him dirty earlier in the game. I mean, she didn't do it by herself, but
Right.
like I was happy. I was like, just let the man off. I was happy about it. And I honestly think it would have been the same results had X gone down. I just don't foresee any other. The same person would have gone home in my mind.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And it would have just burned the person that you need, and now he has no loyalty to you. So
I mean, she did both of them favors along the way.
She did. And that was there was a lot of people who were like, oh, why is she sending Nicole down? And it's like, but she saved Nicole before
the last time. Yes.
And so
it was always those two, was it not?
Yes, it was always those.
Yeah, she saved him the last time. She went back and forth. So
right.
I mean, like,
I feel like she did one a service one time, and she did one a service this time.
And then she does a Nicole one later. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So
yeah.
I felt like it. She made the right decision.
Rock and hard.
We knew Josh was always going in. Yeah.
Yeah, Frankie was not picking anybody but Josh. Like, I was so mad.
Yeah.
When she pulled that green ball, I was like, "Damn it!"
I know. So we do see the challenge, and the challenge is called Candy Cane Rodeo. But if you watch Big Brother 24, it's literally the candy cane version to the hot dog that Taylor, Turner, and Monty had to hold on to for the final part one of final HOH part one. And so it was like, as soon as I saw this, I was like, ooh, I don't know who.
Honestly, if I would have expected Josh to win this, I just would have. I don't know. I just would have. I think Nicole ended up having better strategy to conserve her energy and not to wear out her arms. And also Taylor, somewhere along the way, I heard after the hour mark, they kicked those candy canes into high speed. Or like, all right, get these people off.
It was bucking. Did you see it?
Yes.
It was. I'm trying to figure out if it was bucking worse than the hot dogs.
Yeah, they just like, okay. I don't know. I'm so curious if somebody's like controlling them or if they're mechanical. But yeah, they kicked it into high gear after the hour mark, and then we got our winner. But I just think that she ended up just having better strategy to conserve her arm strength, her energy. I mean, she barely won, but she won, and that's all that really matters.
Yeah.
And honestly, the way they were editing her all season so favorably. I'm a mom. I'm chubby, like not really believing in herself.
I want to say this though. I feel like people think that it is fake.
What is fake?
The way she was speaking about herself.
I don't think that.
Yeah. No, I think I see a lot of people who think it was just like a faux thing for like sympathy.
I think she was presented a certain way as an unexpected underdog type
Right.
thing. I'm just a mom. I'm chubby now. I'm never going to be able to do this or, whatever. So people be like, oh no, believe in yourself. You can do it. That type of feel for her.
Mhm.
Because I saw Nicole play Big Brother. I've seen Nicole on live feeds. This Nicole, for me personally,
Mhm.
this edit of her, even though she did the same amount of crying that she usually does, was much better. Do you know? It was
Yeah.
much better. It's more digestible. You want to root for the new mom that might not believe that much in herself, but you know.
I do feel like and only because I've had 3 kids, and I will say my first child, like I just was like back to my old self. After a while, I wasn't, but like
Mm-hmm.
right afterwards, I was back to my old self. But like by my third kid, there were things that started happening to like my body and my brain. And it's like I do not feel like myself
Right.
at all.
Yeah. Lots of people can relate to that. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I can imagine adding that to this is something you're supposed to know because she's had the most time in Big Brother.
Yeah.
She's played the most.
Yeah.
That you feel like it should just be second nature.
Mm-hmm.
But now your body's changed, you're still breastfeeding, you're doing all these things to this new body, and you're
Mm-hmm.
away from your child and you're away from your husband. I can imagine that, yeah, I feel like she probably definitely felt like a different person playing Big Brother.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that how she felt wasn't authentic. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just
Yeah,
saying
I'm just saying I
that
think I saw a few people thinking it was
that oh okay. I think that that's the story they wanted to articulate to
Mhm.
us. Because it makes you want to root for somebody. It makes you want to be like, "Oh, you can do it. Believe in yourself. You still got it in you." Type of narrative,
Right.
you know.
Yeah,
Because trust me, I don't think as many people would feel that way if she's like, I still got it. That's just how humans are.
that's true.
Yeah.
Um So, Josh is eliminated. I will say I felt like strategically the way Taylor got herself out of this was she did encourage Nicole, like, I'm sending you down, but I truly believe you can beat him.
Yes.
Um, I, I know you can do this. You got this. And I feel like it was good strategy because we see in the next episode, Nicole's like, yeah, no, I'm not. It doesn't make sense for me to target you.
Right. And and we heard in Taylor's interview with Taryn, she talked about she made sure that she loudly and near Frankie rooted for Nicole to win and encouraged Nicole all through that competition.
Right.
And that got back to Nicole via Frankie.
Right.
So she did her job. She did what she minimized the damage as much as she possibly could in this scenario.
Right.
That's our social queen. So
Yeah. Absolutely. And so we do see in the next Naughty or Nice, which was like the most ridiculous thing ever.
is this the key one?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
It's just so dumb.
It was a really good idea, but you
Yeah.
can't, from the behind the scenes information that we learned,
Yeah.
it was a really cool idea. I like the premise of it. It's just maybe we should have a lot more keys more similar so it's not very obvious as soon as you see it. It
Yeah.
needs to be, oh, this one's over too much or back too much or too tall or too short.
Right.
Like, yeah.
Literally somebody walked into the room, picked up the key, turned the key.
Yes, that's it, done.
That's it.
Because there wasn't enough differentiation between the key shapes.
Right.
Like you knew, okay, that ain't it, that ain't it. It was too easy, it sounded like,
Yeah.
the keys.
So Nicole does win an advantage here.
In seconds.
In second.
That's what they said,
And so her advantage is she gets to choose to sit out somebody from the Jingle Bell Brawl.
Yeah. So somebody doesn't even, because if you win this Jingle Bell Brawl, you're automatically in the Reindeer Showdown, like the showdown. You're automatically in the last competition, done.
Right.
Just like that. So everybody wanted to win it. And if you sit somebody out, you only got one more chance to get your booty in that place.
Yeah.
So that was a pretty powerful win right there to be
It
able to
was.
just like, nope, you don't have any chance to
So
get in
it's
this
kind of
round.
like the key thing was a little simple for
That kind of power. It should have been something harder. Completely agree.
yeah. So the Jingle Bell Brawl Part One that was going to send one person into the Reindeer Games was called Missing Ingredients, and
Disgusting.
it was a food challenge.
Yeah. They need
Um,
to do these more on Big Brother.
yes, I
Like
miss
have this
food
as an
comp.
HOH.
Food comes. Bring back
Yes.
food comes. I will say this. So you guys know that I'm a newer Big Brother watcher. So I went back and started watching other seasons of, and I'm just like, why don't they do food comes anymore? What? Like
Yeah.
season 3 where they got the lobster party? And then the house guests are sitting in like the house watching them eat lobster and have a good time. Bring back food comps.
That was a good comp because like I would never, I don't know if I would be good at that. That's just
Mhm.
I liked it. It was
Yeah.
so interesting. It was funny to watch them gag and stuff. Oh, sorry, we didn't even talk about who sat out, but go ahead.
Oh, right. And I will say, just to delve in a little bit, I like this type of food comp better than the ones in Love Island where they're drinking stuff and spitting them into each other's mouth. Let's no. Yeah.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. What?
Yes.
Why are they spitting it into other people's no, I can't do that, but why are they spitting it into other people's mouths?
So then they gotta spit it into like a receptacle.
No.
Nope.
No.
No.
You're not spit. We're out. I'm out. I'm out. I don't know what your saliva got or where your
Well, I
mouth.
mean, y'all have been kissing the entire time
Okay,
anyway.
it's partners are
Yes,
doing this.
yeah.
Still.
Yeah, I know. Still, I agree. Still. I don't care how much I love you. I'm not doing.
You're not spitting in my mouth. I've been married to
No.
my husband. However many years we've been, you're not spitting in my mouth. Like
No.
that's so bad. That's so good.
So Nicole does choose.
Oh, I'm never gonna get up. I'm so,
I never watched them. From
you
the
fast
first
forward.
time
Oh, they done it more than once.
oh, they do it all the time, especially
Oh,
I don't know why.
Tamika.
I never watch those competitions anymore.
Listen, there was one on Survivor where sometimes it's gross stuff, but
Mhm.
this one time they had a big like ham,
Mhm.
a big ham that had been cooked on a skewer, and they had to
A
their
ham or the actual pig? And
I don't remember, but I
okay.
believe it was like a really big ham,
Mhm.
and they had to their hands were tied behind their back and
Mhm.
they had to rip the meat off and like take it over to like a weighing station, and
Okay.
whoever at the whichever like they were broken up into two teams, whichever team got the heaviest amount of meat won. It was a reward challenge. It was disgusting. So bad. Like one person like got like a big hunk of meat stuck in their mouth, like in
Oh,
their
they had
teeth.
to rip it with their mouth? Oh.
Somebody else came along and like, oh, it was so bad. I don't like, but I could like this challenge was fun. Like
Yes, I like
figuring
this
out what the
challenge.
missing ingredient. It wasn't disgusting. It
No,
wasn't nasty. Like it
yeah,
was fun to watch them gag over this.
figure it out. And so, oh, sorry, we didn't even talk about the fact that we got Elf Tiffany in this
Oh
episode.
yes,
I
she
I loved her outfit.
loved it. She truly was the star elf of the series.
Her,
Like, I
no,
don't know. She read the lines well. She was like charismatic. You could
mhm,
tell she was adding a little spice
mhm,
to what she was doing. She was invested, like she was talking during the challenge.
yeah.
I loved her. She should have been, while DX did great, I would not
No,
have been
yes.
mad if it had been split between DX and Tiffany, but Jordan we could have had a teleprompter. I'm
Yeah.
so sorry.
I think Jordan was probably my least favorite elf.
Yeah, a teleprompter would have been just as good as Jordan. Like we could have read to me she just didn't give any personality, she didn't give any fun. You know what I mean? She just read the lines. The other two really incorporated their personality. You know what I mean? I don't know.
And like if you were not going to have those two people play the game, right?
Hmm.
They brought just a little something
Yes,
to this.
yes, love Tiffany, especially in the second episode. I just thought like her commentary during this first
Mhm.
challenge was great. You
Yeah.
know what I
I
mean?
feel
She's
like
like,
who would have been better in Jordan's place, like a Rachel Rowley.
yeah, somebody with certain people just have more charisma.
Mhm.
They exude it more, and
Mhm.
Jordan's just a little bit more laid back. Do you know?
Even Sarah Beth, is that what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like she would have been good.
yeah.
She would have brought
Almost anybody,
yeah.
Tamika. That's what we're getting at here.
It's just like there's
Not for
just I'm
Jordan.
just thinking of people I'm like just good TV. Yeah,
I
right.
think even Derek could have hosted it better than that, than her.
Cop
Oh, could
Derek?
you imagine? Huh?
Cop Derek?
No, big the cookout Derek.
Oh, Derek. Yes. Oh, Big D. Big D
Yeah.
would have been amazing as an elf.
Oh,
He would have been
stick
great.
him in an elf costume because I feel
Yes.
like he would have brought some
He,
personality.
he would have been oh my god, get him in an elf costume that is not exactly what he wanted, like kind of what happened with Derek. Like this wasn't like a little suit and everything. Like it would have been so cute.
Yeah, I would have rather seen Derek do that. I think
Yeah, he
there's
would
so
have
many
been so
people.
cute. Like, oh, they didn't. This is not the costume I wanted. And then he would have just shaded them the entire time. It would have been fun. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, I feel like
Tiffany.
Tiffany brought a little bit like of her thing to this. So
Yes,
if we weren't gonna watch her play,
loved her as an elf. Come on, great job, Tiff. You win the star elf for me of the season.
absolutely. And so we do see that Nicole chooses X to sit out the first part of this Jingle Bell Brawl, which is called Missing Ingredient. And what it is different concoctions that had a certain name. They had certain
Like a
ingredients.
theme.
Yeah,
I noticed. Like they had
yeah,
a fast food one. Do you
yeah,
know?
like a seafood one. Like, and
Mm-hmm.
you had some ingredients listed, but you had to choose which ingredient off your board was the missing ingredient that you didn't know on the board that Tiffany was showing.
Yeah. It was a really creative comp.
It was.
And I was cracking up. Taylor was like, what did she say? I have quite a refined palate. I think I got this.
And then
Because
she went
she
at
don't
the
want
first three, which was fun.
to. Yes. Yeah.
So I will say probably I would have been fine doing this challenge because I like to taste food.
Mm-hmm.
Will I have liked everything? No.
No.
But I would have tried it. I think that like I said, tasting food, I have no problem. I've tasted food and some things taste crappy, but
Mm-hmm.
and you're trying to figure out, and there's like layers of flavor. Yes, was some of the stuff disgusting? Absolutely. But I think I could have gone through this challenge, no
Yeah,
problem.
I could have done it. I truly don't know how I would do. This is one of the comps that, unless you've done it, you have no idea how good or
Yeah,
bad you would be at it. That's how I feel watching it. I'm like, I don't know how good I would be at determining a taste that I don't know. That is a fun game to
yeah.
incorporate. Anybody could incorporate this in their game night with their friends.
Oh, yes,
Do you
absolutely.
know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna do that. I don't know if I could get my people to participate, but I'm gonna try. Yeah.
And so we do see they had different concoctions, and really, like, this was winnable by anybody, and it was also like you had to like be really like strategic because there was one where it could have been fried fish or it could have been
Tuna.
or tuna,
Yeah.
whatever. So
Yes. Because
it was like you could literally be off just by choosing
picking
the
the
wrong
wrong fish. Yes, because that was the last one. Taylor chose the fish fillet,
thing.
which was the logical choice because it
Yeah.
was a hamburger, a Coke, French fries, fish fillet, not tuna, Frankie. But they both tasted and chose fish. Frankie just chose the wrong one. Do you know?
Chose the wrong fish. So at the end of this, Taylor does win this brawl, and she is automatically in to the Reindeer Games. And listen, one thing Taylor's gonna do is make a final
Yes, she won herself her way to the final
in
again, 2 times in a row. 2 times in a row. In red, yes, that's right.
red.
And then I thought her reward was pretty interesting. I did not expect that. Being
Um,
able to take somebody with her. Isn't that this happened? Yeah.
yeah, so her advantage for winning first, basically, she won the most important Jingle Bell Brawl, is being able to choose her competitor to go in with her
In
uh,
the final.
into the final.
And let's highlight she was able to go through this entire season, the only one that
Mhm.
did not see a Santa showdown. She was never once at risk of going home. Went from being block queen to
Mhm.
not even seeing the possibility of going home. She was working with everybody. Nobody really, they tried to target her, but they went home for it. Like, you know what I mean? So she just did a killer job. Super proud of her, the game that she was able to play and have fun doing all along the way.
And I will say, again, so I have said since BB24 that I feel like watching Taylor, I've watched one of the most socially strategic persons I've ever watched play a game.
Mm-hmm.
Um, uh, only other person that I feel like is probably above her is Suri.
Yeah.
Uh, and that's because Suri uses just a bit of manipulation, which I don't mind.
I mean, and honestly, Cerise played Survivor 4 times.
Right.
She played Snake in the Grass. She played Traitors, and then Big Brother.
Yeah.
Excuse me. She's just done this so
She's
much.
nuanced about it.
Yes,
She
that she
good
just
at
has a way of doing it that is so non-threatening.
yeah.
Like people, we saw her game in Big Brother, and I don't want to go down a rabbit hole to a whole nother show, but
No.
she just has a way about her that she's able to bring people into her and they just trust her. She's just believable. She's relatable. There's just something about that woman
Yeah.
that sucks everybody in, you know?
Yeah. So like literally watching BB24 and then watching the first half, 3/4 of BB25. If y'all want to watch
That
social
is Cherie Fields.
strategy.
In control without winning a
Yeah.
thing. Like
Yeah.
she's just something else.
And even here, we see we don't get the live feeds, but we do see that Taylor really was. She was in with everybody until she couldn't be.
Couldn't be. Yes. Until she was like, I was like, but while she was so pissed about having to choose between allies, it was just fun to watch. Just
It
like,
was.
damn it.
It's like, dang, now you can't ride the line anymore. What do you
Yes. Like now I have to choose. Oh my god.
do? So she does get to choose, leaving the last three to basically go against each other in the second Jingle Bell Brawl.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like X felt like it was no brainer.
He did.
And I was
And
like,
honestly,
yeah,
his
no brainer, she ain't taking you.
but I felt like I understand her choice. She's explained her reasoning why she made the choice that she made. Either she could have made arguments for choosing whoever she wanted. It was
Right.
just she was doing what she felt was best in that moment for her and her game. And then seeing X's disappointment, I was like, "Aw." I did feel bad, but it's a game. Like you have to look. It's a short game for $100,000. I gotta do what I feel is best for me. And also, Frankie was still there, who she did not want to be there.
Right. And you promised
X,
you would take
please
him
go get
out.
rid of him.
Right.
Right. That's what she wanted.
So
So I mean, I get her train of thought. I could follow the logic here.
yeah. Now I felt like maybe she should take Brittany. Um
Ooh.
now only because A, Brittany had never won.
Yeah.
B, because I thought maybe she could beat Brittany. But in her
Mhm.
explanation, both on Twitter and with her, and she explained why she chose Nicole, and I do agree with her reasoning. So her
Yeah.
reasoning is that Brittany was better at the things that Taylor was not good at.
Yeah.
She was better at like puzzles.
Yeah. She said
Um,
some other things I can't remember.
yeah, so some more like just strategic things that Taylor felt like was just not her where her strength lies. And she had the best winning streak going into the reindeer games of any of the girls and of most of the boys.
Yeah. And I think that she felt also, she said that she felt like Nicole's skill set was more evenly matched to hers.
Right.
So where if I'm not good at this, also Nicole's not the best, but then Brittany is. So
Right.
I understand her reasoning in it, and I understand her wanting X to get the job done here, which failed miserably. I don't think he got one right.
So
Not a single one.
we do
And
see.
Frankie got every single one right. And X was like, I wasn't paying attention to that. Like, you know what I mean? Because how do you know that this is gonna come back?
So we do see that the second Jingle Bell Brawl Part 2 is a musical quiz. And literally Frankie blew this out the water. I don't
He
even
did.
know.
I'm like, how do you know that? I don't know. Like
And it was
he
just things
really
that had happened in the game up to that.
he knew, and I think Brittany was a close behind.
She was.
And when I saw the comp, I immediately was like, Nicole would have been better at this. But like she doesn't know that. She doesn't know what the heck the comp was gonna be that the three of them faced off against. It could have been anything.
Right.
But
And
you don't
so
know.
so Frankie blows us out the water. He's automatically into the reindeer games. And so we do see into Santa's showdown because Taylor takes Nicole to the reindeer games with her. We do see Xavier and Brittany go into what is called Krampus's billboard. So it's
Yeah.
basically a big old puzzle. That first you have to do like a knockdown wall
On a zip line.
on a zip line. So I feel like Xavier did that like practically no problem.
Yeah. And Brittany struggled. And she was shorter. She didn't have at first, the right strategy of swinging out and swinging back in order to knock the pieces down. And I want to backtrack a little bit because Taylor's tweet, she tweeted a funny tweet when after the Jingle Bell Brawl with the three of them, when Frankie was in reindeer games, she's like, my face when Frankie got in reindeer games. Like she was so mad that X tanked that. Like didn't even come close. But yeah, Brittany just had at first bad strategy as far as knocking down all those puzzle pieces. You know?
Yeah.
And I don't know that I think that I just feel likely that X would have won against either one of them, either Brittany or Nicole. I really do. Because I just think he's taller, he's like faster. I don't know.
I do feel like this was too close.
Yeah.
I was just like, and I understand it. You know, X did say after game, so just like a little more behind the scenes, that he basically kind of crumbled. After this, remember he was coming back from an injury, a really rough one, both his hand and his foot, or leg, or whatever.
Achilles, I think.
Ankle, whatever. and he, you know, he was trying to preserve himself. And then it's kind of like he kept going into Santa's showdown. So he said like he basically crumbled after this. And so it I think it showed. I do think it showed. This was too close for comfort.
I'm wondering how close it was, and then Like, was it really close, or did they show us that it was close for the edit? Is what I wonder.
I don't know. It just it was just like, dude, you're supposed to be taking out Frankie, and this is like, get someone else to do it.
Yeah.
That's what it came down to at this point. Get some of the um it felt it just felt like a lot. So it did at this point is where I felt. I know you're like, now is when you feel bad to me. Yes, now is when I felt bad for X, because at this point I was like, the man is tired.
Yeah, he was, and this was a very fast paced show. They were in doing 3 competitions a day. So I know physically and mentally they were tired, because they said it was like a double eviction stress wise every single day,
Mhm.
with not really a lot of time to strategize. That man went down to every single showdown except for one. He earned his spot.
Yeah,
Like, he beat everybody multiple times. So
yeah,
I was glad when he won, though.
yeah.
Much as I like Brittany, I was happy when he won.
X wins, and then we go into last
Final
episode,
episode. Yay!
reindeer games. Um, and
It
it
was
was
a really fast, like, compact episode, as we would expect. Like, we
yeah.
didn't see a
I
lot.
swore they were gonna elongate it. I swore they were gonna add
They
time.
could have probably,
They
but
probably could have, but they didn't. It was like
yeah.
literally what, an hour?
Yeah, it was an hour, and it was on the move from like the second they walked in.
Yeah.
They got started with Naughty and Nice, which I thought was an interesting challenge. They had to find the painting, right? They had to
Yes.
find, I can't even remember how it was set up.
Yeah. So they had to go around the rooms and find a certain painting that looked, that either said something or looked certain
Did
way.
something. Yeah.
And again, it was one of those things where they apparently picked it out right away, and actually X and Taylor both got into the room at the same time, looked at the
Mm-hmm.
same painting, but he was able to like just outpace her to the bell and ring it.
Yeah. And his what he won was pretty powerful. I guess he messed up, because honestly, the challenge that he had,
Mm-hmm.
the second one would have been more suited to him and his skill set. You know, so had he not won, he could have been in the second one, but we'll never know.
We'll never know. Because they could have switched them. We don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the winner, because he was the winner and he went first. So I don't even know if that was his choice or not, or if they're like, okay, you won your first.
Mm-hmm.
They lost their second, or
Yeah.
vice versa.
So we do see that he wins an advantage and he gets to choose. So basically it's like, it's kind of like if you ever do, what do you call that thing where you go head to head challenge, like you
Mm-hmm.
get to choose who you're going head to head with. And that's,
Yeah.
and so he decided to choose to go head to head with Nicole.
Not no surprise at all. And he said that he would have liked to see him and Taylor face off at the end. That would have been
so cute.
Oh my god, that would have been so epic. But his choice of Nicole is completely understandable. He's thinking, because you don't know what the challenges are, you have no idea what skill set you're going to have to apply, but he would rather face off against Nicole than Frankie. He's not going to choose Taylor, which I get,
Yeah, no,
Frankie is good at everything.
Yeah.
That man is good at everything.
I totally got his choice here. Like, no, I have no qualms about it, because again, at this point, all bets are off. It's $100,000. I don't want to face off with Frankie. You get someone else to do it, and that person.
If you go down, sorry, but like, not about be me. I would have totally, just even with their performance the whole way through the season, I would have completely picked Nicole out of the 3 options, the other 2 options.
Yeah,
and that's not to underestimate her, but you just got to pick who you think you have the best shot at. He did not want to face Taylor, not because he didn't think he couldn't beat her or that he could, just because he'd like to see her in the end, and he wasn't going to pick Frankie. So
sorry, I have a medical emergency right now.
Oh goodness.
Doesn't matter. Sorry.
It's okay.
It's cutting the hands and the hair. And so we do see that he chose Nicole, and I will point out a lot of these comps were in Big Brother 24. And while we have a lot to say,
the clocks were,
yeah, a lot to say about Brother 24. I had said already that I felt like the comps in 24 and the comps in 23 were way more
equitable than 25.
Than 25.
Yeah, and they kept like doing the same comp in 25 just in a different way or a different item or a different theme. Yeah, they were way more physical, way more like there was an element of speed to it more often there. Yeah, I like 23 and 24. It's comps way better. They weren't perfect, but now that I've seen Reindeer games, I expect so much out of Big Brother 26.
Yes.
Yo ain't got no excuses. Not one.
So we do see it is the clock challenge that we saw in Big Brother 24, where you had to put gears on a clock in a certain way that would make the clock actually revolve. In 24, it allowed a cuckoo bird to come out and make a noise. In this comp, it literally was them winding the gears to crack a nutcracker, to basically create a nutcracker.
Right. Yeah, it was cute.
It was,
and I don't understand Xavier's strategy. That's where he lost.
Right.
Like I don't. Nicole had the perfect strategy. Like you just start at the bottom and make sure it works all the way through. I don't understand why anyone would tackle it it just seemed like being on the outside watching them do it. Her method just seems like the most logical method to go with,
Yeah. And if you watch 24, you should know what worked and didn't work because they showed it.
Yes. Literally. Taylor was like, I can't say nothing because I have the same strategy as X.
But she's like, so she would have known to do it differently.
Not do that. Right. Yeah.
She still kind of probably would have beaten him at that point.
Yeah.
But even still, it just sucked because it was just like, if you didn't either watch 24 or you weren't like, it just mentally didn't click to start from the bottom and go up.
Yep. Or even from the up to the bottom, like anything in order.
So, yeah, it just was sad. X was eliminated, places 4th in Big Brother Reindeer games. And so we don't get to see an X Taylor final 2. And
so freaking close. That would have been so epic.
I know, it'd be great.
Very badly.
And so then Taylor faces off with Frankie based on X's choices. It was like
I like this comp.
I love this comp.
Yes, because I felt like you could be like somebody could be physically faster and still suck at this or aim badly, or like there was a chance for anybody to win this game. I really, really like this competition.
Like the only person this would not have been equitable for was a Matt. Because the first part, a Matt. Yeah, because the first part was audio.
Oh, okay. Because when they had to listen to which ones they had to aim for. Gotcha.
And so it was like in the beginning, they have to listen to on a set of headphones with, I thought they were the cutest little headphones. And then they had to listen to it to choose who they were going after. It was a set of elves who were thieves. And they had to figure out which elves that they had to then shoot balls at. I think it was balls. At targets. Using just like a
slingshot,
regular old slingshot. And the only thing was if you knocked down the wrong person either by accident or on purpose, you had to start over.
Yeah, it was a really good comp.
Yeah,
and she killed it. Like she killed it. Like she just looked so good, so athletic. She was bam. She did a great job and took out the guy that she's been trying to get other people to take out
Take
all
up
games.
for
She
her.
did it herself. She did not need X. She did not need Josh. She did not need anybody. She took him down, the guy that was like the biggest comp piece of the season by herself. So proud of her. She
Yeah.
had such a great showing.
Yeah. Tiffany did say that the way it was, Tiffany Taylor and Frankie only listened to it once,
Mm-hmm.
went on ahead. They knew who they had to go for. She said it was really just like a timing thing. Taylor like was going, but she got hers reset early, so she knew
Mm-hmm.
who to like save for last. Whereas
Mm-hmm.
Frankie was going, and he messed up his slingshot at the wrong time,
The
and
end.
at the
And
end,
let Taylor come in and win it. I was so proud of her.
very
And honestly, it was just really nice to see women beat out the guys in the end. I was
yeah,
so excited for them. Like, that does not happen in Big Brother. Usually, in normal Big Brother, the guys knock out the women and they go bros to the end, right? That's what we normally see in Big Brother. So it was just really cool to see two women beat out the guys. Two of the Xavier was undefeated in Santa Showdown.
yeah,
Frankie had been killing it, and both women took each of those biggest compies out to face
yeah.
against each other. Loved it.
Loved it. Amazing showing by both women. Michigan strong.
If you ever go on Big Brother and you see people from Michigan, vote them out. Just don't even. I'm not even gonna give you a chance.
No.
Sorry, you gotta go. You're from Michigan, or better off, you better lie. You're from somewhere else.
And
Oh.
so we do see that the reindeer games consist of 3 challenges, 4 challenges, 3 challenges, 3 challenges. The magical mistletoe, the ancient antlers, and the sacred snowflake. So the magical mistletoe was a puzzle, but it was an upward puzzle where you had to build it stackable. And I think Brittany had done something very similar in the early part of the season,
Mm-hmm.
which is another reason why Taylor was like, yeah, if Brittany had been there, she would have whipped my ass because she already.
Yeah.
And so she, you had to basically build it like a Christmas tree
And then climb it and
and
then
then
jump.
climb it and then jump because
Yeah.
they don't show it. Taylor also said she had to jump for her mistletoe.
Mm-hmm.
And we saw Nicole ended up having to jump for her
She went down like on top of the trees. I was like, man.
yeah. And so Taylor said she ended up bruising her bottom because of the way
That
she had to
fall.
jump.
Yeah. Because I
We
felt like when
yeah.
Nicole did jump and the tree came crashing, because they didn't show Taylor's for whatever reason. When the tree came crashing, I was like, man, she like was fell and her feet were up. And I was like, wow.
Yeah. But Taylor does edge Nicole out by a long shot.
Wow. And then she had like a lethal hold. She smoked that. And then she got to that next puzzle, which I felt was really complicated with having to, like, it was like a puzzle where you had to move the pieces a certain way.
Yeah.
But the pieces turn. So you had to figure out which side of the puzzle to take your antlers through
Right.
that would work and get to the next. It was a really interesting, intricate puzzle. And I don't recall seeing that on Big Brother ever. I'm sure they can rework it and make it work again. It was a really good puzzle. I
It
like
was
that
a really
puzzle.
good puzzle.
Yeah.
But because she had done so well in the first challenge, it gave her time to figure out instead of trying to work it from the top to work it from the bottom up, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
And she was able to kind of just like edge it out. But Nicole was once Nicole came out of that mistletoe challenge, she was hot on her heels.
Yeah. But I was so excited. I'm like, go.
So Taylor does start the last challenge, which is the Sacred Snowflake, and we had seen this challenge.
I do not remember this one. Where'd you see it?
In Big Brother 25, it was a flower challenge instead of snowflakes.
Jag won it.
Yes.
Okay. I don't remember it. That might have been a comp I skipped because I really did not care watching the calls.
Yeah. And so I was like, I did not like this challenge in 25.
You don't like it yet.
Heisen won it. Heisen won
Oh,
it.
he did? I don't
Yeah.
even. Oh, I do remember that. I do. Early in the season. Well,
Yeah.
obviously. Yes. Okay, I remember it now. That was a complicated puzzle.
Heisen won.
Huh?
Heisen won it. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It was a complicated puzzle. Like they both had it crash and crash and crash and crash. So it's the edge
Until
of my seat the
Nicole
whole time.
basically figured out that the heavier pieces had to be in the middle and then the lighter pieces on the outside. And it was 4 separate bags of snowflakes. And it was like, by that point, she basically had caught up to Taylor, was able to just edge Taylor out, especially since bag number 4 was just like a sprinkle.
Tiny little pieces. And Taylor had said in an interview, like it was closer than the edit showed, of course. They wanted to be suspenseful, but she said that she was on her last piece of the 3rd bag, and that's when it fell. She's like, had I been able to get that piece on and get to that 4th bag, it would have been over. Regardless, even though I would have died. Like I would have died if she had won this. Like I would not have been able to contain myself had she won this game. But
I
regardless,
was prepared to act a plum fool.
A fool. I would have been screaming from the rooftops.
Yeah.
But even though Nicole was congratulations, Nicole, no shade
Yes.
to her. She played great. She had obviously allies saved her multiple times, and she did return the favor.
Yeah.
No shade to her. She was able to edge her out, but I'm just proud of my girl. Her game speaks for itself. She did a great job, and she's happy. She was happy with her showing. She was happy, loved it. So I'm happy for her. That makes it a lot easier.
Congratulations, Nicole. Well, like a really well fought run. She basically just like came out of nowhere and won. And I like this because 2 women came to the end. I do feel like it was equitable between the 2 of them. So I do feel like Taylor chose the right person, because I do think that maybe if she had chosen Brittany might have just knocked her out.
And who knows if it would have been a different Brittany instead of Nicole. Brittany could have won the first challenge. You just don't know. Inserting a different person could change so many different
dynamic, right?
You can't say you cannot say, people love to say, oh, this is why her losing to Nicole, saying this is why you should have chose Brittany. Her choosing Brittany doesn't equate to a Taylor win. We don't know what would have happened. So I understand her reasoning. I understand her logic. Anybody can follow along with it if you have brain cells. So it's just
but I will say overall, love this series. Overall, this showed what the potential Big Brother can do. I know the only thing for me missing was feeds. That was
that would have been so interesting.
It would have been interesting.
I just know, because I think there are so many moments that were high stress, high pressure, that we saw glimpses of people flipping out, like people being up, like physically upset, shunning people. You know, I would have loved to see it on feeds. Loved to see it on feeds.
So also the things that I liked about this series was the people they chose really, because of their experience, gave great DRs.
Yes.
Great DRs. Very experienced DRs. Very interesting DRs. Even you could tell when they were trying to, like, throw them a line, they each just brought their little something to it. It just was so well done. And while we came into this thinking, this is not going to be that great, I mean, for whatever reason, the cast or whatever, I think overall they did a really good job with this.
Yeah, I had zero hopes. Big Brother has taught me to have low expectations, but I'm just glad that I gave it a shot. I'm glad for the cast they had. Like, it was just really fun. So
yeah,
do it again, CBS.
Please. And so I do hope they do this again. I'm I'm reserving judgment for Big Brother 26 because I had written it off.
Mm-hmm.
But we will see what they change, how they change, bring back
I
food
hope they
comps,
do.
bring back equitable comps,
Yeah.
um, bring back people who can give natural DRs. I
Yeah.
think that's what's missing. I think that that's the magic that is missing. That is what we loved about watching Taylor Hale in 24. Just her diary rooms were always just so great to
Mm-hmm.
watch. And I feel like we just didn't. That was the best thing about Suri too, season 25. Like she gave amazing diaries, and again, it's it's her experience on reality TV. She knew what to bring to the table, and
Yeah.
so I'm not saying you have to bring experienced people, but maybe test out their diary rooms. Or like, are you doing that? Because that like if you're not getting that chemistry, I throw it out the window at this point
Yeah.
on the edited show. So great season. Thank you for joining us. We will be back. I will be back, I think, at the end of this week to discuss the Golden Bachelor wedding. And we will be back, Janelle, in a guest format to discuss
I'll be on as much as possible. Like if I can do every week, I will.
to discuss Traders US. Miss T Joy will be joining me here to discuss the Traders US. We're all excited for it, so can't wait to have those discussions.
It
And
starts this week,
it
Friday.
starts Friday, first 3 episodes. There have not been any spoilers so far, so that I've seen.
I've been looking.
I've been trying to get the episodes. I couldn't get those either. Um, and then it will be every Thursday at 9 o'clock on Peacock. So join us. We'll be here weekly to discuss Traders US.
Yeah.
And I will be back either here and on Chantel's Reality Realness with 3 S's to discuss Love Island All Stars. So those are the 2 shows that I will be covering. I'm not going to cover Traders UK. I may cover it if it transitions over to Peacock on streaming, but right now I am not gonna I
Yeah.
can't cover both. So along with Love Island, if Love Island wasn't here, I would cover both. So thank you for joining us. Janelle, where can the people find you?
I'm just Janelle Michelle on everything: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook.
Yeah.
Find me there. I'm excited to hop on and talk traders. I'll be doing a draft tomorrow at Silent Podcast for the Traders cast. I'm sure I'll be hopping on there at least once this season for traders as well. I'm going to be hopping on with you and Miss T Joy as much as humanly possible. Hopefully every week would be my goal, but I'll see.
And as always, follow me on Entertainment Color everywhere. And I just put out some content of all the words for BIPOC, people of color, Black and Indigenous, who won awards at either the Golden Globes or the Creative Arts Emmy. So check out my Instagram for that. I'm doing little bits of content here, trying to test things out. So let me know what you like. And like I said, I'll be here covering that so far, and then we'll see, because February, all sorts of other reality TV shows will be starting up. So thankfully, Love Island All Stars is only 5 weeks, and I think Traders US is going to be 11 weeks. Whew, Jesus. Yes. Or
That's
11
probably why
episodes.
they're dropping 3.
Yes, it's 11 episodes. So the first 3, and then it'll be whatever's left after that weekly.
Yeah. Interesting.
Thank you guys for joining us. As always, we're glad we could come and wrap up this Big Brother Reindeer season. So we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye, guys.